Thanks to Gry for this very thoughtful presentation. She argued that AI-supported interpretation will never replace human interpretation. I cannot believe that. Today's automatic translators are based on algorithmic methods from the previous millennium that my team published at Tech University Munich in 1991. Back then, compute was about 10 million times more expensive than it is today, and there wasn't much you could do with our methods. Automatic translators at the time could do almost nothing. But since 1941, when the first general purpose computer was completed, compute has become 10 times cheaper every 5 years. 10 times cheaper every 5 years. In 2011, compute was already 10,000 times cheaper than in 1991, but the automatic translators still sucked. The Chinese laughed at the automatic translations from Google and other providers and at all those silly mistakes. But only 5 years later, in November 2016, they were no longer laughing because compute was now 100,000 times cheaper than in 1991, and that was enough. Google suddenly achieved a huge improvement in translation quality through our neural network called LSTM, or long short-term memory. Maybe some of you have heard of it, which is now the most cited AI of the 20th century, which makes me pretty happy. A year later, in 2017, everybody was doing it. In 2017, Facebook was using our LSTM to translate 4 billion messages every single day. The translations were still not perfect. Many silly mistakes still, but they were now getting significantly better every single year. And today, a decade after the 2016 breakthrough, we have gained another factor of 100. And the translations today are already much better than those of 2016. They are certainly better than my own, and that's why I also used an AI to translate a draft of this text. Of course, AI interpreters are already superhuman in some respects, as they can translate for thousands of people simultaneously in dozens of different languages. No human can do that. But when it comes to translation quality, the best human interpreters are still better than the best AIs. But for how much longer? The aforementioned trend is not going to stop in the coming decades because the known physical limits of computing are still a long way off. In the next 30 years, compute will again become 1,000,000 times cheaper than it is today. Everything that seems impressive to us today will seem trivial in retrospect. For this reason alone, no one can seriously believe that AI-supported interpretation will never replace human interpretation. So what about the most outstanding of all translations? My favorite example is The Catcher in the Rye by Nobel Prize winner J.D. Salinger, who translated it congenially into German. It was another winner of the Nobel Prize for Literature, Heinrich Böll. One might now hope that such congenial translations are only possible for true people who really know through personal experience what it means to walk barefoot through a field and have all these profoundly human experiences that befall the protagonist of the story. But even in this area, human dominance is not assured. I suspect that the best machine translators of the near future will be those who are not just encoders and decoders of sentences, that not only have read all of the world's literature, those guys already exist today, but they also have experience in controlling complex humanoid agents that not only have cameras and microphones, but also millions upon millions of touch and pain sensors, and can act in the real world and in principle experience much of what biological beings and humans experience, that can interact with real humans and learn better to predict the behaviors of humans within their society. Now, such versatile robots do not yet exist today, but they are pretty close. At least simple variants of them have been around for a long time, and the prototypes are getting better and better as we speak. Artificial agents whose main purpose in life is to learn from experience, to avoid pain, and maximize reward, just like humans. And when such agents combine their experience in the real world with the art of expressing themselves, like a typical Nobel Prize winner in literature, which can already be acquired today through diligent reading, it seems absurd. It seems absurd to assume that AI-supported high-quality interpretation will never replace human interpretation. Never is such a bold, presumptuous word. Just a few decades ago, many people believed that AI would never pass the Turing test. That AI would never play chess superhumanly well. That AI would never solve difficult math problems formulated in natural language, and so on. All of this proved to be a misconception. And now consider again that AI gets 1,000,000 times better per euro every 30 years. It seems inevitable. Soon, interpreting AIs will eclipse almost all human interpreters in every important way. Thank you.